Hi, Shira Star Goddess. Okay, so I'm going to do a paranormal experience vlog today. Now, I have not really shared this experience with too many people because once people start talking about certain things, there are certain people that don't believe and there are certain people that do believe. But this is a paranormal experience that I've had, so I'm just going to share it. Maybe you have too. I don't know. Okay, first let's start off by saying that there are different blood types. There's Rh negative and Rh positive. Now, it has been said that there are only like 15% of the population that are Rh negative, which means they don't have the rhesus gene, okay? So I am Rh negative. I have type A negative blood, and I've done a lot of research and it all makes sense. So they have said that Rh negative blood types witness more paranormal activity than their counterparts who are Rh positive. Not to say that Rh positive people do not witness or experience paranormal activity. It is just that the Rh negative people experience it more because our electromagnetic energy is higher because we have more copper in our blood. So our frequency and our electromagnetic frequency is higher. So we are basically going to experience more anyway. So getting that out the way. When I was 3 years old, hold on one sec, y'all. Sorry, y'all, I had to do a reading real quick, but okay. So when I was 3 years old, I was laying on the couch in my childhood home, and I would always go into these like trances or dazes where I would just kind of like be in a daydream and just be lost into my own thoughts. Well, I was laying on the couch and I started staring at the ceiling, and I just went out, like I had an outer body experience, right? Or something opened up, like the ceiling actually opened up and there was like blackness or darkness in the ceiling, and it was like in a square. So it looked like a square opening in the ceiling and there was nothing but darkness. And then a little, like a stairway, I don't know, came out of it, and there are these three beings there that look like the typical little small gray aliens or whatever. They were like more grayish green. And all of a sudden I found myself up there with them, not like inside the darkness, but like right between this like I was floating like towards the ceiling, but I wasn't inside the little black square hole that was leading to the darkness. I was just kind of like floating and hanging there in the ceiling with them, and they made me feel very comfortable. It's like they didn't speak. They had like this telepathy, and they could like show you how they felt, and they could also communicate with you through telepathy and feeling. So I felt as if they were like family, like a cousin or something. Like you would feel like you were around some family members that you really didn't know, but you knew that they were your family, and so you're kind of safe and trusting of them, but you don't know them like your brother or sister. So that's how I felt when I was around them. Like they were distant family. And I was a child, like 3 years old. I had never seen an alien movie. I didn't even know what an alien looked like. This was like 1982. And so I didn't know what an alien was. I didn't even know they were aliens because I'd never seen one or heard the name alien before, okay? So, and then they were like just entertaining me. We were playing like, kids play, because they were my size. They were little. And after a while, they asked me, hey, do you want to go with us? Do you want to go with us? And when I was up there, I could actually look down and look out of my window and see my mother on the front porch. you know, because my other siblings were outside playing. So I could see her outside sitting in a chair on the porch. And when I looked down, I was like, no, I don't want to go because I love my mother too much. And I could never leave her. And so they were like, well, okay, well, we'll see you again. I'll see you later. Bye. And so they went up back into the ceiling. The little black square hole closed up. I opened my eyes and I was laying back on the couch, but I could see myself on the couch before I woke up. So it was basically kind of like an astral travel or an interdimensional travel. And I could actually, you know, feel, talk, communicate, and all that stuff. And they were never rude, mean, violent, tried to abduct me or anything. They were just very friendly. And I believe that the reason that they were like that and didn't like try to force or anything, because my intention was true. Like, I was vibrating on such a high level of love for my mother that, you know, that could not be trumped in any sort of way. And plus, everything is free will in the universe. You know, everything is free will. And also, if you're vibrating on a certain frequency, that's what you're going to attract. So as a child, I had no fear. I didn't even know what an alien was. So I was not vibrating any type of fear. I was, you know, looking at them as they were friends or, you know, family members. So that's how I was treated. Also, there's lots of like stories about the alien bloodline and this and that, and the Rh negative, and y'all can get into that if you want to. There's many videos on it, but a lot of people say, well, it was because of your bloodline. They didn't take you. They didn't do anything bad to you, and da-da-da-da-da, because you're like a hybrid or half-breed or whatever they want to call you. And I was like, okay, well, I'll accept that, whatever. But, yeah, so years later, okay, so remember, I was 3 years old. So years later, when I was 33, okay, a few years ago, when I was 33, I had a very similar experience. And I was like, I guess I was asleep, so I astral traveled again, and I was asleep, and I was just in this dark place, and there was like a light. It wasn't a tunnel. It was like I was in a dark hole, and there was a light way at the top, and it looked like the moon, but it shined like the sun. So it was luminous, but it wasn't bright like the sun. It was luminous like the moon, but it looked like the sun. And so I was just in this darkness, and then there were those three beings again, and they were there, and they were standing like to the right, and they were like, well, we're here. And I was like, okay. And that light that was shining on me was, I guess it looked more like a star and the moon, but I was looking at it, and there was something that's saying, you know, don't go in there. No, don't go in there. And the little beings were in the darkness with me, and they were just sitting there. They didn't say nothing. They didn't make me, like, they didn't communicate with me telepathically. They were just being basically like, we're here. And so this seemed to me like a choice. Like, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to go through that light? Are you going up to that light? What do you think that light is? Are you going to stay in the darkness? You know, what are you going to do? And so at that age, you know, I had known enough not to go into the light. So I stayed in the darkness, and that light slowly closed like this and got really small, and then I was in total darkness. And then I woke up, and ever since that day, like, everything changed, you know, for the better. Like, all this information started flooding in. I started channeling more, and just, it was crazy. I started making a bunch of videos. I started, you know, YouTube channels. So all this information just flooded in. And then after that, see, I had not seen those little beings or creatures ever since. But I would not call them aliens. I would call them interdimensional beings, because we have dimensions of our mind, we have dimensions of our consciousness, and you know, they're always in threes. Like the little beings, they always came in threes, and when I saw them, I was 3 and 33. So a lot of people like numerology, and they research the numbers, and 3, 33, you know. So to me, I had really good experience with interdimensional beings, and to me, they're like the watchers. They're watching. They're just like, you know, making sure, you know, you don't feel like alone, making sure that they are, you know, telling you that, you know, there's more out there than just you. It's kind of like expanding your mind without saying too much, making you wonder, making you ask the right questions, making your mind go, making you research certain things, making you see how things are from a different perspective. So the possibilities and the questions were endless. They make you ask yourself questions. It affects how you make decisions in your life, that you have experienced certain things. So there's some people that have never had a paranormal experience, and the way that they make decisions is totally different than a person who has had paranormal experiences, because they know something that the other person doesn't know. So they can base their choice on this, and that. And a lot of people ask me, well, how do I have a paranormal experience? I've never experienced it. I've never seen a ghost, an alien. I never astral traveled. I can't get out of my body. Da, 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 da. The most simple way to do it is like when you're a child. Go off into a daze. Just sit there and stare into the ceiling, and things will start to happen. You know, a lot of people say meditate, but some people can't sit still enough to meditate. Some people can't concentrate or not concentrate enough to meditate, and it just seems silly to them. So look at the ceiling or the wall and just stare off into nothing until you become in a daze, and I guarantee you something will happen to you. You will experience something that you have never experienced before. So yes, and this is sort of like tapping into another level of consciousness that most people don't experience in the mundane. Okay, so thank y'all for watching. Thumbs up if y'all have had a paranormal experience that have dealt with beings, interdimensional beings, if you want to call them aliens and stuff like that. Put it in the comments, because I love to read about people's experience with you know, ETs, extraterrestrials, because a lot of times I see similarities in our stories, and it just, you know, kind of confirms that, you know, it's, you know, real. But if y'all have never seen the movie The Fourth Kind, I think it's on Netflix, but I'm not sure. That movie is like the most accurate depiction of how things happened to me as a child. And in that movie, I don't want to spoil it, but in that movie, you know, it's just this tit for tat my experience that the little girl had. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.